All right, y'all, let's talk about it. I'm way late, but hey, I wanted to do this anyway. So, ain't gonna be no edits, just bear with me. Um, Michael Jackson movie. It's been officially three, no, 3, 4 Saturdays ago since I've seen the movie. And right off the bat, Jafar Jackson killed it. Straight up, no questions asked. They picked I don't I don't know if they could have picked anybody else better for that role. Um yeah. So hands down, hats off to the man. And one thing I have to say is that I appreciated how they, number one, the work that he put in to do that movie. I'm a movie nerd in that way. So I like to go and I like to watch like behind the scenes of what the actors do to prep for the movie. He prepped for about a year, if not longer, for that movie. Could have been 2 years. He put the work in to get there. So that's the number one thing. So the movie itself, the fact that the director from Training Day and Bohemian Rhapsody directed it says it says a mouthful. So it's kind of like, how can you be shocked that the movie was good? I'll say it like this. I appreciate how they broke it up because when you think about the life of Michael Jackson, there's so much, especially if you were around before he passed away. There's so much history and richness in his story from when he was a little bitty kid all the way up until the time he passed away. And straight up, I love the fact that they focused on the highlight of his career, like when he first got on the scene. And they didn't focus on so much of the negative aspect. Yeah, so if you've seen the American movie, or sorry, the Jackson's American Story, go ahead and check that out. I'm sure you've seen it come across your feed. You've seen a whole bunch of Michael Jackson videos across your feed, I'm sure. That tends to happen when, something is popping in the culture at the time. But I appreciate how they for sure highlighted the aspect of the relationship with his dad. Obviously wasn't the best, but at the same time, they didn't make that the main focus of the point, the main focus of the video. And I think they did a pretty good balance of not, I don't know what the right phrasing is, but they highlighted the relationship between Michael Jackson and his mother, Catherine, played beautifully by Nia Long, by the way. I ain't seen her on the scene in a minute, so shout out to her. She killed it too. And so you definitely see that dynamic between him and his dad and him and his mom. But at the same time, it still did a good job at centering the focus on Michael Jackson. And really what it was, the way I interpreted the movie and what I saw was that it captured that beautiful moment and transition when Michael Jackson was pivoting from being his dad's son, this this genius of a kid in this phenomenal Jackson boy group, and becoming his own person. That transition in his mind and what he was thinking, what he was feeling, and that very beautiful scene that was shot with I forgot the name of his security guard, when he had that little tidbit with his dad and he rocked out the door and was just like, hey, come on, let's just go drive. I don't care. Let's just go anywhere. And he's talking to his driver about how he's sick of being under his dad's thumb for the most part. And please forgive me, I forgot his name. And the driver, security guard, was just like, basically, you just got to do it, essentially. You just got to do it. His whole point was your dad's not going to change. So you got to do what you got to do and take that risk. Drop your dad, be your own person, go do what you want to do. And so I liked how they embarked, that they captured that genesis of him embarking on being his own person and turning into the Michael Jackson that I think most of us know. You don't really know. A lot of us, if you were born after the 80s, I don't think you really, you can't really understand how big of a deal Michael Jackson was when he was a kid, because that was before your time. Your parents probably do. But yeah, Michael Jackson was a huge thing. The Jackson 5 as a family was a huge thing in the 70s. So yeah, man. And what was cool, the way they did it was they captured Michael Jackson, that transition in that story, how he became who he became at his peak during the first, well, no, they started off with You Rock My World, no, not You Rock My World, Off the Wall, and they showed that transition. But then the huge emphasis on it was the Thriller album. The Thriller album, which makes sense, right? Because that's the album that sold, is one of the best-selling albums, if not the best-selling album of all time. So, in that whole scene, basically how he captured the ideas that he had for every single song, I thought that was dope. And I will say, the thing that stuck with me the most, outside of just the beautiful delivery that Jafar Jackson brought to this movie about his uncle, nonetheless, and his family and that legacy, is that he really did a great job at capturing the gentleness of Michael Jackson. Obviously, none of us knew him. The only people who knew him was the people who knew him, right? But if you pay attention, like me, again, if you're kind of a nerd like me and you watch the interviews and behind the scenes stuff, you get that consistency of Michael Jackson, that he was a soft soul, not a soft man, but a soft, gentle soul, meaning like he wanted to be the greatest artist of all time, but still kind of humble about it. I don't know if you can be humble about it, but my point is the delivery of how he was, how his spirit was, and his approach. Even in the scene where they're debating on going back and forth of getting him in the MTV rotation and putting Billie Jean on there, he's just, I want to be on MTV. This is what I've done, and I want to share it on there. With all due respect, please try harder. Or what do you say? With love, please try harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never ever got the sense that Michael Jackson was a huge rowdy, rah, 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 like, you better do what I say, and this is the contract, and you see what I'm doing, and la, la, la. His approach was always just gentle, and his work spoke for himself. And so that was what I really enjoyed the most. And then, of course, the dancing. I would be lying if I didn't say that I didn't walk out of that movie theater inspired. And it was just really what it was. I was inspired to just be, most of the time when I see a movie, a biopic, and it's done well, I usually leave inspired. And really, it's just to operate with that particular movie. It was just to be who I want to be, and to not be afraid to tap into that creativity and to thrive into that creativity. I'm a very artistic, creative person, y'all. Like, I think a lot of people who come on this YouTube platform have a level of creativity to them. And so, yeah, I ran out of that movie theater skipping. I ran out of that movie theater just like, okay, yeah, man, like, yeah, just inspired. I was doing the dances and all the stuff, and you know what's crazy? I don't know what effect I'll just say it like this. I know, because I remember when Michael Jackson passed away, and, it was what it was. But I remember all these kids, all these little kids were singing his stuff, dancing to his stuff. At the time, my little cousin, because she's so much like younger than me and my sister, she's so far behind. But at the time, she was like a little kid. I think she was like 7. And every time she would come over, it'd be, can we listen to some Michael Jackson? And Michael Jackson. I remember my little nephews dancing to his stuff. And it's just like, and it seems like the same kind of thing that's going on now. Even though it's been a month since this movie came out, I'm late, but it is what it is. But I'm still seeing stuff across my feed. I'm still seeing little kids dance to his music. And it's just like, wow. There's a lot that can be said. You can take that as a negative or a positive. But, we're going to try to keep this on a upbeat note. But, yeah, man. I think, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I made a little short before I went to go see the movie, and I was just asking y'all, like, okay, is it really good? Because y'all are really hyping this movie up. You know what I'm saying? I know it's Michael Jackson, but is it really all worth the hype? And I'll just say it like this. It was good. It was good. I'd probably buy it, if I'm going to be honest. And, yeah. And again, biggest inspiration I got was just to be me. To be me and to do what I love to do. Because as harsh as the reality was, as harsh as being a Jackson, and with their dad pushing them the way that he did, with Michael specifically, it was very clear that that's being an entertainer or being in the music and dancing was definitely part of what he was supposed to be doing. I'm not going to say it was his ultimate purpose, because that's a whole nother deeper video. But you can very well see that was in him to do. So, yeah. 5 stars for me. Again, shout out to Jafar Jackson. He killed it. I would say everybody in that movie killed it. So, yeah. And disclaimer, because I know like there are some spiritual implications. I'm not saying that Michael Jackson was perfect or anything, but and I have to make that disclaimer as a Christian. Like, if any believers come on here, I'm very well aware of some other stuff that he might have been into, but this was specifically for the movie review, okay? Specifically for the movie. Let's just keep that right there. But yeah, long overdue, but still wanted to share it. Wanted to post. Hope you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.